I gotta get in the middle.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Episode 537 of Horror Search 30, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You shouldn't be here. Children of all ages, you shouldn't be here. This is for adults. But we're gonna be discussing Late Night with the Devil. And I'm excited about this. Second time watch. First time watch was in theaters. This was a good watch. This was definitely a good watch in my opinion. But before we get into that, gentlemen, how's it going? James, how you doing?
Doing good.
Trevor,
Very good. Happy to be here as always.
Mick, how's it going?
I'm doing well, my friend. Thank you for having me.
Yes. They're all fucking lying. Ain't nobody happy to be here.
I'm forced to be here.
He is.
He won't shut up until we get on the camera.
Listen, man. I'm doing it for the blacks. I got my own slaves now. They just podcast for me, though. See how I kicked this off, people? I had to.
Wait a cotton picking minute. What are you talking about?
You gotta get out and go get picking.
Wait. We can't do something inside now? It's 2025.
Nah. That's for the people with tans. The later you are, the further you got to work outside. The longer you got to be outside. I'm flipping this. They like the light skins be inside all the time. Fuck that.
I feel like I've earned your trust. I can sweep the porch, right? Can I?
Might even end up hiring you guys as slave masters.
I don't know.
I
if I can do it, man. I don't know if I can do it.
I know you can do it.
I'm not. No. Well, it depends on who you give me.
White people. I'm giving you white people.
Yeah, but depends on the ones. Like, I mean, if it's Trevor or James, I'm not happy about it.
You know the
But
ones.
if it's like, I can think of some. I wouldn't mind.
The ones that wave their hand funny. I think it's,
Oh, you're talking about subhumans.
Whatever you want to call them.
That's different.
But that's not why we're here tonight, people. We're here to talk about Late Night with the Devil. And I hope you guys got to tune in for Casts for a Cause. We did reach our goal. We actually went over.
Awesome.
But what a fun fucking night that was. What a wild, crazy, long 10 hours, but a fun time.
Yeah.
And I was all over the place. Mick was all over the place. Dan, that crazy son of a bitch, was all over the place. And there is a video that he said I can use. I don't have it right now, but I will be using that a lot in Horror Search 30. Especially when it comes to bad movies or funny movies. It's going to be used for something. It's going to be used for something on here, probably when I'm gaming.
That was funny.
That man is a maniac. And the crazy thing is, he would have done that earlier in the day. And if he would have been able to do that again, he would have done that again at night. Just because it's him. Like, I don't understand that.
You're a maniac.
But the jump slip with the ladder fall was just, like, I was happy he didn't get hurt, but I was also happy that didn't go perfect, because it wouldn't have been as good. It wouldn't have been as funny. It wouldn't have made as much of an impact. Not for me, at least. Like, if he did it perfect, it's like I could have just watched this on wrestling. Yeah. Thanks, asshole.
That was, I guess it was Royal Rumble that night.
He pre-cut the board. Little snaps.
Love it.
Like the face he made when he first popped up, and like when he hit he just looked so surprised and happy at the same time.
He just hit the deck so hard. He slipped off of the ladder and landed right on the table.
I still can't believe he did that in the winter, climbed up the ladder, stood on the top.
Dude, and wait, I'm cutting clips that I have them up on TikTok now, but they'll be up on YouTube. And I cut the clip where he talks about doing it. Sturdy, you were there when he talked about jumping off the ladder and practicing at the school, and he's like, it's like 13 feet because that's the apron, that's the ring. And I'm like, but when he did it in the thing, I'm like, that ladder's 13 feet. The ladder's like 4 feet.
Yeah.
Like, don't bullshit me.
I do remember that.
I mean this in the best possible way, but I mean, to be a good public school principal, you got to be fucking crazy.
Wow.
That he is, but in a
I
good
mean,
way.
so yeah, I mean, to be, an on, you got to have that,
I hope so. I hope some of the
youthfulness, that,
students. I hope some of
intensity.
the students see it.
Yeah,
I hope they
there's an
don't.
intensity, and also, kind of a willingness to laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
That can really help with a lot of people that may not want to open up, and then they'll see their principal do something like that, and they're like, "Well, shit, he's kind of cool."
Mm-hmm.
Chaos
Damn,
is good.
I just don't want them to do it.
You know what? Speaking, I gotta show this, man, because this is just too fucking funny.
You
I gotta
have it.
download it, do some of my stuff. But
Oh
you
boy,
guys
here
gotta
we
see
go. This is a good one.
this. I'm so proud of him. Like this is one of the proudest things Dan's done so far since I've known him.
This one.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you guys this too. For minorities out there that have crazy white friends, listen, they're gonna do this kind of shit anyway. Just encourage it. Be a good friend and encourage it. Because I was the encouraging. Mick wasn't. Mick didn't want to do this. But I
I
was like,
don't want
listen,
him to
Mick.
get hurt.
No, I didn't want him to get hurt. But if he wants to live out his dreams and do stupid shit, you gotta just let him go. But
Like I said, I thought he was going to go off the.
He's got a little belt there and everything.
Look at that! Is crazy. Wet sneakers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trust me, that comes into play.
Oh, I know. But he should have known. I'm saying, like, come on.
he's a teacher. Well, a principal now, but
This
still.
is great. This is my favorite.
And that's the bottom line. Because the master shake says so.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Like, and that clip that I just shared, like pretty much that is all the part I want. I don't need the whole video, just that there, because that alone was just awesome.
He popped up quick as hell too. I think he tried to pop up before the pain set in. And he got hurt.
No, his whole goal is to chug the Stone Cold Steve Austin chug
Yeah.
those beers, and he went all in on it. I gotta
That
give
was,
him
the only, that was the only reason why he wanted to jump off that ladder, was to just do that.
That is so good though. That's funny.
Oh, I love it.
Big shout out to Smash, aka Shake, aka crazy ass white dude from Michigan.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
That's the kind of principal you do want, because you can tell he's fun and he cares, and he's a man of his word. That's important.
Yeah,
it's very important. You know what else is important? Talking about Late at Night with the Devil.
So important. I love it.
Such a good movie.
Yep.
This is only my second time watch too. First time I watched it, like I said, I went to the theaters last year with the wife and watched it, and I always meant to watch it but didn't. But it just did not watch it again. I mean, in my defense, last year I did go to the theater, I think about 30 times. So
30.
Yeah.
Every
more. I think no more than 30.
Like 30, maybe 32 tops. I forgot, because we like towards the end of the year we did slow down. I don't think we touched the theater in November or December, but still.
Yeah, I've checked my letterbox.
It was a grand old time. And this one, like, I do wish I would have went back to a couple times, just because it's one of those movies where you have to watch this a few times. I know for a fact the second time going through, like the girl's face changes when she's possessed. I don't remember realizing that from the first one, and I do not remember the end sequence. I'm trying to think of where. Well, I guess when we get there, I'll tell you guys when. But like the end of matter of fact, the part where he's seeing his wife again, talking to his wife. From that part, I don't remember that part there. Or he's talking to his wife.
This is also a second time viewing, and I also did not remember the ending completely. Arguably, maybe the only thing that I can really find wrong with the movie is the ending is overly ambiguous. Ambiguous. Whatever the hell was that came out of my mouth.
So this is second or third time I've seen it. The first time, the ending confused me. I was like, what is going on here? What does this ending mean? And I watched it again. Well, I watched it today and it all came back to me, but I watched the end and it's still a little bit confusing. Like, I'm like, what is going on? Was he a cult thing, hypnotized? Did he
I
just
think it's
lose his
left
It
mind?
definitely played to the idea of the grove among the tall trees, as being, to me, the ending seemed like a very frightening dream someone would have after a traumatic experience, especially a traumatic experience that, somebody points you out and makes you think of the things that maybe you did wrong, or maybe your whatever the grove is, whatever the tall trees is, it did what it did was made him think about what did I do to get where I am that neglected my wife that she died. So I think, the between the fact that, the grove and the tall trees could literally have just been some Masonic kind of thing. There's always been this, aura of the uncanny around the entertainment industry.
Yeah,
But
Trevor,
no,
we can't talk about that.
oh, well, yeah. I mean, of course. And also, it's kind of interesting because there's a lot of this movie that is about the cycle of hysteria. And if you look at, let me think about that one a little bit more. But
Well, to kind of piggyback on that and to ask you guys your opinion, in your opinion, is this more his psychosis, or is this real? Is this girl possessed, or is he like living that psychosis? Like
I
he
think
still under-
just because the ending was so confusing and how it ended, I think it was psychosis.
I think so too, and my reasoning for that is in the story and like kind of how they weave it, and that being that like it focuses on him. It doesn't focus on a massacre. It just says that night, it talks about that night, but it's about him and how he got from here to here. And that's why I was like, I think it is a psychosis. Like everybody else is just seeing him stab this girl.
Could it be a mix of both?
well, okay, so there's one of the things I love about this movie. Okay, so there are like a couple things that I dearly love. And one is the concept of how video technology can be used, especially in a horror format, to imply some kind of control, or passing something on, most likely evil. So just, video technology in itself, my education, I've always loved that. Always loved horror movies. And I've always been very fascinated by the concept of mass hysteria, the concept of cults, the concept of people being led to believe something that honestly is so fucking absurd, but just because the ball gets rolling at the right time, it becomes mass hysteria. And this movie hits upon it all. I mean, it's set in 1977, and this is right on the heels of when the Satanic Panic is going to happen. And you can take that back to 71 when William Peter Blatty released the book The Exorcist, which was a controversy, especially within the Catholic Church. And then
I could take a few of them with that Catholic Church.
yeah.
I want to get these in before
the Catholic Church gets,
it
it was all kind of. And then, of course, The Exorcist with Freakin', which was also a controversy. All these things kind of started building up. So 1977 is important because in 1976, a woman named Michelle Smith started special psychiatric stuff with this guy named Larry Padzel. And they eventually released a book in 1980 called Michelle Remembers. And this thing became a media darling. And this is like Lily. Lily is a version of Michelle Smith. Michelle Smith was supposed to have spent 14 months of her life with a satanic cult. And to this day, she, still claims that it is. But what ended up happening was that it ended up building literally from it. Okay, so there's the idea of regression therapy, and this film takes that into account. So Lily and her doctor, June Ross Mitchell, kind of, juxtaposed with Michelle and Larry, because she is a psychiatrist, but she also is a psychiatrist in the paranormal. Another wonderful thing about this movie for me is how much it does. Okay, so you guys talked about psychosis. For me, that doesn't hold up because that goes against the concept of the found footage film. So everything that's in 133.1, because it's filmed, because televisions are that way, is supposed to be an actual broadcast. So by that law of the found footage, it can't be psychosis. But everything that is outside of that 133.1 picture screen, which in 1977 was every fucking television set, that's where a lot of the interesting stuff happens. Is this really going on? Is it whatever? I stumbled upon, I forgot I watched it. Back in the late 80s, Geraldo Rivera did a 3-hour special on the Satanic Panic. I mean, it's really crazy. And this film, I think, just besides doing this great job of embracing Satanic Panic and how absurd it was, it also did this beautiful job of showing people what television was like in '77, because it was a very different monster. And also, I think it's very important that in 1977, the VHS is released to the public in the United States. And the VHS changed everything. Live television was king. Live television was sweeps week. But based on the, recording and that kind of thing being legal, eventually came to what we have today, which is on demand. So, yeah. I really dig this film. So sorry, I babbled.
No, it's great.
Oh, I totally liked it. By the way, the late night show called Night Owls. That's a great name for a late night show.
No, it's well done. I mean, the movie looks great. If it, I think we were talking about behind the scenes. I mentioned I was like, this movie could have been nominated for some things, and I would have been perfectly fine with that costuming. I love the way it's shot. I don't think it would have been cinematography comparatively to what usually comes out, but it just looked great for a found footage film. It's different for a found footage film. This late night concept is so good, and you can never. It's hard to reshape something like this. It was just so different from what we're normally seeing.
I liked how the different characters. I liked how they had a skeptic on there, being a dick and trying to prove.
Oh yeah, Mr. Haig.
Yeah.
So okay, I was a child that was raised a lot by media, so I saw a lot of these very bizarre classic shows by Oprah, Dick Cavett, Phil Donahue, Larry King, Sally Jesse Raphael, that were all about Satan, and Satan was coming to take your kids, and there are 2 million. At one point the FBI was looking into 2 million missing children as being satanic sacrifices. It became an industry. It became an industry of fear. So, this is a movie that, the fact that it also is a found footage film that has no inserts from a third party that has come upon this kind of footage, which I think makes this film very unique and different. It is attempting to create a story in which, okay, this is the footage we have. It's a 133.1. Here's some footage that some people might have been filming, but we don't know. But there is no, well, I am the host and we are going to have this and, you know, this. So there is, it is very much left up to the interpretation of the viewer, which found footage doesn't necessarily do sometimes. You know, it's a medium that's supposed to seem realistic, but it's so amazingly manipulated. And this was a beautiful way of presenting found footage in literally what was almost verbatim exactly like a late night talk show on Sweep Weeks back in, you know, like the early 80s. I remember shows just like that. So, you know, you had James Randi, who was Mr. Haig. He was on all kind of shows. The Ultimate Skeptic, Cristal, who was the medium, yeah, is very much like a Yuri Geller, who was on all the talk shows at that time and bent the spoons and, you know,
or John Edwards for this day.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Delroy. Jack Delroy is this bizarre mixture of Phil Donahue, Dick Cavett, Larry King, and Geraldo Rivera. You know, it's a very nostalgic movie on top of that. So it does two things. It's a great horror film. It's a great found footage film, but it's a really interesting take on nostalgia.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And I just wanted to dive into what you guys were saying earlier about, which I agree. I do believe. I think it's possession as well. Not just with like what was going on with the girl, but I guess the part where he was. I think I want to say actually a mix of both. I want to say possession and hypnosis, because where he's. I feel like where he's under the.
Did anybody say that?
No, I said I joked about him pre-cutting the board.
Oh no, that thing was straight as that thing was literally straight as a board until he went through it.
My bad, Aaron. Go ahead.
Oh, what the hell was I saying? Oh, I think like the part where he's stabbing his wife. I think that's more of like a hypnotized thing than a possession where he's seeing his wife. I think that's more. But then again,
like an illusion.
I think that's the guilt that's running through his head.
That he's seeing.
Think it's all guilt, and that goes back to yet again a lot of the elements of Satanic Panic and how Satanic Panic was, you know, because Larry and Michelle, they ended up getting $240,000 for a book deal, which back then was freaking amazing. And, you know, it influenced in, you know, a whole generation of psychiatrists that started dabbling in this regression concept, but finding themselves either pulling things out or being pulled in by somebody's ability to be creative or move things in a certain way. I mean, the thing about the Satanic Panic that is frightening and is cyclical because of now is there were people put in jail. There were, you know, educators that were stripped of their license and put in jail. I mean, just people's lives were destroyed right and left because, I mean, so people were getting certificates from Michelle and Larry because they would go and do talking engagements. And then once you got that, you could then do your own talking engagements. And this was a big enough pile of malarkey that police departments started having people come in and do presentations on what they should look for when it comes to satanic cults. Satanic ritual abuse was what, you know, was a, you know, the FBI was looking into this. It's all malarkey. And now we're in 2025, and Satanic Panic lasted at least for 10 years. You look at that, and you look at, like, you know, a preschool teacher who is thrown into jail for 99 accounts, convicted for 99 counts of possible abuse in various ways and all this other malarkey pertaining to ritual. That person eventually got out of jail and all those left, but that was not the only person. It was true hysteria. Dungeons and Dragons, was honestly, yeah, people were getting expelled from school because of Dungeons and Dragons.
They mentioned that in Stranger Things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they touched
So-
down on it. Like, and
Yeah.
but I think that adds to the argument that this is psychosis that's breaking, because that's what satanic panic is. It's just manifesting what you think in your mind, what you think is.
It's a beautiful concept of, well, what if we are to make a nostalgic movie that does have a lot of connections to the contemporary world, but what if one of those, like, and literally there were probably about 100 150 talk shows that had guests on about satanic panic. What if you did do the show and it went really well, like it actually happened? And it's a beautiful idea and they execute it so well. And I still am a little about the ending, but to me, I think it's almost like an epilogue that is in his mind. So
I think that for me was our look at Hit complete. That's why I say psychosis, because I think once it turns to that, once he is projecting that this little girl is just gone full demon and killing everyone, he's broken and he goes into wanting redemption in some way, and he doesn't get it. He's in his own little personal hell, and stabbing that little girl, it like pulls him out of it. I don't know. I just it's such an interesting, because you can take it any way. You can take it supernaturally.
Well, I like what the direction you're taking it, Mick, because what it is connected with satanic panic. There were so many people that were put for regression therapy and were convinced that their family had done horrible rituals to them or sent them off to have horrible rituals. And then these came back. They later were like, this did not happen. But it was such a ball of fear that people were being convinced. And this destroyed lives in itself because it destroyed families. If you had an enterprising psychiatrist that wanted to, push maybe certain things in a direction that seemed, it was being done. And this was being backed heavily by religious fear, of course. I wanted to actually, and I couldn't find it. I have a certificate as an official member of the Satanic Church. And, Abraxas is Anton LaVey. Anton LaVey, I mean, he was a little bit more hardline, but there's nothing ever really evil about Anton LaVey. And the contemporary Satanic Church is all about, fighting hypocrisy. But there's still a stigma,
They call it the Church of Satanic, like I call it the Scene Snobs. It's supposed to be ironic.
Yep.
I do have a question for you guys.
Yes.
What do you think about
Turner and Hooch?
They keep showing that guy in the skeleton outfit in the audience.
I will tell you this. I thought that too. Maybe the person, because they're very still. There is a shot where you see them going like this, clapping.
Oh, like so he was a real member of the audience.
And as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, they have nothing to do with it. They just zeroed in on a cool costume.
I was thinking that same thing. I'm like, they zeroed in on this quite a few times. Like ever since he pointed the person out.
Yeah. And once I saw them clapping and it was like regular hands, I was like, yeah, okay.
All right. Because there's also a scene where like shit was going down and the thing was standing behind him. Like that dude in the skeleton costume was standing there just staring. And I'm like, who the hell is it? What's he supposed to represent? I'm like, what the hell's going on?
It's definitely something I got to dive into and watch one or two more times.
You didn't change the movie.
I really like this movie.
What are you talking about?
I gave you One Cut of the Dead. Remember?
I don't remember. Oh, you know what it was? You sent me the Japanese cover. I couldn't. I forgot to ask you what it said.
Okay. Sure.
But if it lands on that, we'll be doing One Cut of the Dead. If it lands on the Hell House one.
Okay.
So, in my defense, Bree, how's it going? So we're on TikTok live, but I have to like look at the comments on my phone.
The Grace.
Oh, I wanted to see this. Did I see
Mm.
this? Wait a minute. Did I watch this?
I don't know, but you picked
I
it.
don't know if I watched it or it's I want to watch this.
I haven't
CJ,
seen it,
what's
so I'm
up?
excited.
Same. Never seen this.
I never
but I'm
seen it,
excited
but
for it.
no, I don't think I have seen it. I want to see it though. I've seen the cover of it before, and I read the like what it's about,
Oh,
and
it's
I was
an
like, oh, I gotta
action.
check this out.
Nice.
So
I
cool.
did not see that one.
I would like to just point out something. I paid $10.26 for eggs the other day. So
That's wild. Yeah, egg prices are insane.
Yes, they are.
And it might so
awareness.
I forgot where it took place. I'd seen today a news article. Someone robbed an egg farm.
In
Oh, that was
Greencastle,
it.
Pennsylvania.
10,000 eggs or
Pennsylvania.
something like that.
It's literally 20 minutes from where I'm sitting here right now.
Jesus.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was
Black
Trevor.
market.
Trevor has the eggs.
Got to make money somehow.
That is how you go rob
Sure.
10,000 eggs. That's
Listen.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And don't even get me started.
Oh,
Yeah.
Very fair.
Kendrick Lamar got 5 Grammys. He's about to tear up the stage.
Some good
Okay.
stuff. Oh, wait, we didn't give our rating.
Lamar's awesome.
No, we are.
Oh, okay,
Drake's
okay.
running around here with a hoodie with fake bullet holes and smoke coming out. He has a fog machine in his back. That's fucking ridiculous. Fuck you,
That is
Drake.
crazy.
All right, I'm ready for our ratings. I just had to get. I had to get that out there. I had to share that because, listen, man, not like us,
Do it.
Drake. But diving into our ratings, gentlemen. James, you want to kick it off? What do you got
Sure.
for us?
Really like this movie a lot. I would give it a 9 if the ending was a little bit better, but I'm going to give this an 8.
Okay. How about you, Uncle T?
8.5.
8.5. Mick?
9.
9. And I'm at an 8.5 as well. And honestly, the ending for me, it's the same. It wasn't terrible, but I just wish they could have,
Yeah.
like what we were saying earlier before we went live, I believe, Mick, just kind of cleaned it up and shortened it some. Just got to the point.
Yeah, I do wish that they got more to the point. But like going off the basis for me that it's his psychosis breaking, I do think taking us out of the found footage and putting us into what he's seeing and thinking within that moment, like he's a completely broken man. And when he stabs and you find out the reality is he stabbed the little girl, like that for me, you needed that part. Like it was almost like I'd almost equate it in a way to Avildsen's use of the camera in Rocky, where you start in the ring and then it's intense and then they pull you out, you get a breather, and then you see you're in the crowd, you're even farther, then it gets more intense, you're with you're at the ropes, then you're in again, and like in that type of it felt like that as it went on, which was very non TV, which you didn't get that from those talk shows. It was all like three studio cameras, maybe 4 studio cameras around, all kind of fixed, but you were cutting in and out of like that found footage, which one thing that bugged me about that is I do wish that they gave more of a reason why it was being shot. And honestly, to me, the best fix for that would have been like the skeptic had found footage running around just to try and catch things. And that's the footage they had of that stuff. So like you're mixing in a reality there. So when the psychosis completely breaks and we're out of it, we're not even in the found footage anymore, and it immediately snaps back in, we're snapped back just like he is. Like that reveal is almost perfect because him holding the knife and the little girl there, and him just horrified and everything's in chaos and mayhem. It's a really powerful ending, to be snapped back into that. That's why I do appreciate where it went. And I often argue with a few people about that, but I do wish it was condensed down. That's the only thing. I think it went a little long.
I agree with you on that. I think it would have been more of an impactful ending if it was condensed down as well. Even if like the very last part of the ending where it reveals him, all that other stuff, but just cut that shit down, and I feel like it's gonna hit a lot harder.
Yeah,
but still a really good fucking movie. And if you have not seen this, go check it out because it's one of those ones. Again, like I said before, I definitely want to watch it again.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's one you should watch. There's those movies you got to watch a few times to really get everything. But I feel like this is one you should watch. Don't wait like a year to watch it again. Maybe a couple months, if anything. Maybe a month or two, if anything. But don't wait too long. You know what I mean?
Can I? Because I would love to do a comparison. Have you guys watched or reviewed WNUF Halloween Special?
No.
Okay, I want to switch from One Cut of the Dead, which I do want to get to at some point because I think that's a beautiful story that you'll love. Beautiful horror story that you'll love. I'm going to switch because we watched this. I want you to watch WNUF. I'll send you the poster, Halloween Special. It's a found footage. Do you remember what was it, Ghost Watch back in the 90s? Yep. It's like that, but it takes place in the 80s, and it's almost like a WPIX Halloween night. We're visiting a haunted house type of situation. Yep. It's so well done that I would like to watch it with the three of you and like see the comparisons that you would see with this one.
I'm down.
All right.
I have to agree with you, Sturdy, in the fact that a lot of people is, for me, if I were given the ability to re-edit the film how I think would have been wonderful, would have been literally starting it out as you see the cue card, and everything that you see is just what happens and what the viewer sees. And I think that in itself would have been really interesting. I understand the necessity to portray a story around it, but it would have been interesting to see if they would release a cut that is just supposed to be blank and insert a couple commercials that are made that would be referential to that time period. I think that would be really interesting.
That would be a really interesting take, honestly.
Especially because it totally allows you as the viewer, like, okay, number one rule of found footage film, footage, video, whatever, most likely real, although we know it can be, fucked with and everything. To like watch that and it go from the night owls literally to we are having technical difficulties. That would be fascinating after watching the film. Because that way it would fully give you an experience of what the viewers were watching somehow.
Can I say this too about this movie?
No.
It makes me want for Sturdo Vision to have like the music that was playing in this. I want something a similarity to that, like more horror.
You mean like the Thurman music?
I love the Thurman.
I would say
Thurman, isn't it? Or with Thurman or Thurman? I don't know.
That was cool, and then just like when they had the little, the little "We'll be right back," that little music that was playing there.
Yeah,
that shit.
This movie got in trouble for those little cards because they were AI made. I didn't care. I was like,
I don't care.
I was like, they looked cool. I get it. That was at a time where the argument was more so, and I have argued against this. I don't think AI art is good. Okay. But sometimes it could look kind of cool, like in a situation like this where it's grainy. So therefore, I've never really been worried about actual human artists. Like if somebody's going to go and use AI instead of going with you, they weren't going to go to you anyway.
Yeah.
That's
true.
not the person that's going to go. Like, trust me, I have my own YouTube channel. Not everyone's going to go to you. Not everyone's going to enjoy your shit. You got to be okay with that. But just appreciate the ones that do. And that's what that for me is like. So when you argue, yes, I think there should be a limited amount of we use when it comes to AI, right?
Agreed.
In movies, but for situations like this, especially for an independent movie, calm down. Like, calm down. Like, I get why maybe you're mad if a huge studio movie that can put out the money towards actual, like, either practical or at the least visual effects artists to be working on it. But calm down. All right. If it's title cards like this, we got to get over it. Like The Brutalist. People are going after The Brutalist because they hear, oh, they used AI in the movie. And it's like, what they don't realize is they used a bit of AI to help with the Hungarian translation for the movie when they put it out. And that is bonkers to me that people can't even look into it and shit like that. And they just get mad on this. I think copyright has now accepted AI. As long as human creativity is more than 70%, AI can assist you. And I think that's the way we need to start thinking about AI. It needs to be a tool to help in this.
Exactly. Using it as a tool, not using it to, for example, creating your whole art, your whole story.
Yeah.
Using it as a tool to kind of help you put things together or just finish something off. But like you're saying, that 70-30 or 80-20 type of, where 80 is you doing, the 20 is the AI for the extra little, the bullshit stuff, so to speak.
And become friends with it, because if you don't become friends with it now, it will murder you.
True.
It's very true.
Yes, and don't have sex with it because you get pregnant and it's bad.
When I use AI to create songs, because I'm obsessed with that Suno thing, I always write, please create blah blah. I say please. Like, don't get mad at me, AI. I don't want you to come and hunt me down.
Yeah, I see iRobot.
I can see that's starting already. So the new what was it, $200,000, $250,000 sex robots? They're gonna go like Chucky. They're gonna fucking haywire. And they're gonna start cutting you. They're gonna come.
I do not want a sex robot.
It's gonna be
But understand that the porn industry is going to be on the cusp of technology.
Always is. Yeah. It directs where we go with our media.
It really does.
So if it does somehow,
I mean, VHS got its major push, originally in the porn industry.
Yeah, it was between Beta, which was arguably better than VHS, but porn chose VHS because it was cheaper. Same with Blu-ray and HD DVD. Same with DVD and VHS. They're trying for virtual reality because they're trying to get that grasp on the filming and the money side of it again, but it's not working. Internet won because the internet was easier to do. Which look what happened, like Pornhub and all that stuff that was not paying out or doing things.
Not a sponsor, but can be.
It's not. There you go. Has now turned into like performers on OnlyFans. So
Mick,
and
what would you
OnlyFans
do when your son's of age and you walk in his room because he can't hear you because he has VR on and he's just humping the air?
I mean, I'm gonna knock.
He's of age. I love that you said that, because I told my wife that one day. I was like, listen, the boys are teenagers now. You can't just barge. Yes, I can. I'm like, listen.
No,
the boys are teenagers now. You can't just barge into them. They might be doing something in there, but saying they are that you don't want to see. She's like, I wouldn't. I was like, exactly, knock.
Kelly Ripa's husband just said that. I read that on a headline. I didn't even read the article because I don't give a shit. It was like that in the byline. It's like, okay, I can't remark something.
And just ignore. Don't even ask questions about.
No, they got into an argument because they're married and they have kids, and he's like, he thinks that you should be allowed to walk into your children's rooms whenever you want. No. And I get that, because that's a chauvinistic way for a lot of men think, and wow, it's my home, I can do whatever I want, and you're just an asshole, really. Like, it's what it comes down to. But you can knock. There's no reason not to. It's just you being a dick. or weird.
You kick the door down when they don't
Their
answer it.
room. Yeah.
Like they're kids. Fuck
Yeah.
them. It's not hard to show them a little goddamn respect. And I'm not saying you shouldn't get respect in return.
Oh,
That will happen. But if you respect a kid, like, Jesus, it just
there's a lot of
boggles my mind.
situations you don't walk in on them. For one, they could have just got out of the shower, naked, getting dressed, and you're just walking in.
Let's put it this way: it's man babies whose dads were tough on them, and now they have daddy issues, and they're going to put daddy issues on them because it's not fair to change it, and it's changing. I will say this: fathers, as we go down the line, are becoming more and more hands-on, and it started with millennials and worked way down. But the man babies from all the way back, and I just don't, whatever. Like, my dad was like this with me, and my kids need to grow up the same way. It's like, they don't. You're an idiot. But
and then of course you have the cycle of people who say they don't want to, and then they end up going into the same cycle again as they learned when they were children.
If they realize, like, hey, it's a lot more fun engaging with your kid rather than saying shut up, go away, your life might be a little bit better. Your life
be a little easier, a little more calm, all that good shit.
When you start treating your children as humans and equal human beings, they start to respect you more.
Humans whose brains you can, like, watch discover new things, which is amazing.
Oh, it is amazing.
Casey used to say that about his daughter. He's like, and I saw it once I became a parent, where it was like, yeah, watching them learn new things all throughout their life is a privilege, and it's amazing, and you should harness that and be a part of it, not shut it down.
Oh yeah.
It
is. There's nothing quite like the feeling of seeing one of your children get exceedingly excited about something that they're into or something that they're doing. And every once in a while, there's this wonderful crossover that by their interest and their fixations, there are connections. And either way, it's so important to encourage those things because you want them to achieve, you want them to be happy. And as a parent, I can't imagine any more joy than seeing my children learn and grow in the things that they love in life.
One of the greatest things I remember hearing was how the male lions will encourage the cubs. Like, he will play hurt whenever they're biting at him or messing with him or pawing at him to encourage them throughout. And I forget where I heard this, or I watched a video on it or something, and I was like, that's fantastic. I was like, because we don't see encouragement, and humans, like, but like me encouraging my kids now, like, they've become so much smarter. And then, like, even saying that, like, I want you guys to be smarter than me.
Yeah.
I want you guys to go farther than me, and I'm happy to be there. I want you guys to learn it and teach it to me because I want to hear it from you. And they love that. They love when I'm like, okay, you learn this and let's talk. You teach it to me. And I get to learn. So, but you got to do it. You got, like, I don't understand. I really don't. Maybe like when I was a kid, because it was not like that at all. So for me, I'm so glad to not revisit that or continue that cycle, which I see like happen with my brothers and other people in my family, where it's you're repeating cycles over and over again. I'm glad I broke that, because I gotta tell you, life is a lot more fun when you get along with your kids.
Oh my, yes.
It's so much more fun. Like watching these James Bond movies with Jack and Tommy, and then like doing like, and like, it's not just about watching things, but even going out and like doing the sports and like really getting into basketball and such with Tommy. It's just like, I don't get, I was like, what is more fun inside? I was like, after I'm working and I'm broken and I'm done, that's my alleviation from all of that. Not the TV, not saying I don't love watching my movies on my TV, but like spurting it out and going to play for a little while when I can, or just hanging out, or just listening about Pokemon cards for a half hour.
Yep.
It's fun, and seeing them smile is way better than seeing them cry because I'm yelling at them. You know,
I never thought I would know as much about Warhammer as I do now.
Yeah. Dude, and have game nights if you're a parent.
Yep.
Game nights.
Even if you're just married, get your with your wife or you have a girlfriend or something. Like do game nights. But you could do your women too.
Oh hell yeah, or your men, wherever you're.
Yeah,
whoever
but
you're
I think like when I'm speaking, it's not about like all relationships. It's like women have it tough in relationships and have always had it tough in relationships, and now just across the board. So like when I'm saying like take care of your women, like there's a way, there's a dynamic too.
Oh yeah,
In relationships, and women for their gender, it's tough in relationships. There's a lot of fighting upwards, it seems. Don't make it that way.
I guess it depends on the household too, though. Because
Well, I don't think you do it, but I'm not talking to you.
Don't allow yourself to fall into stereotypes of a patriarchy that actually keep people who are supposed to love each other apart.
But I don't think it's just that. I think it also does come down to the way men interact with women. That's why I'm not saying all different types of, but like men interact with women, and like there is a and again, it's not all men. Like we see more and more as the generations go down, it's different as well. But like, if one message I can say is like, it's kind of like it's better to get along with your kid than fight. Like, if you know it's going towards a fight, you know how to get out of it. You know how to not get the reaction. You know how to just be like, you know what? Let's talk about it. What do we want to do? Or like throw it out there. Like, let's just for shits and giggles throw out the idea of like picking dinner, and it's always like the source of contention, and a woman can never pick dinner, blah blah blah. Make it fun. Spin a wheel like Sturdy does. Put a bunch of restaurants on. Stuff like that. Enjoy yourself instead of getting mad and being like, "What do you want?" Like just get an app that randomly picks restaurants or some shit. Be like, hey, I got the app thing. We're going to Applebee's, whatever.
There you go.
Like,
I mean, shit. You could even spice it up and pick. You could throw your favorite restaurants on there. You can do it. Hey, what do you want to do tonight? Chinese, Italian, blah blah blah. Throw different cultures on there. Boom, whatever it picks. Boom.
Yeah.
Go to that restaurant.
And then stop by the Scene Snobs, and stop by Harvest of Sturdy and Ambassador Media and Radio, and find out what type of cultural movies you should eat. Eat that food too and watch.
Yes, and popcorn and pints as well, because we're gonna be bonding for a couple months.
Oh, dude, because we're so early in Bond, you should do something with it, because he goes to a bunch of exotic places throughout the series. We go to a lot of places. We go to a lot of places. I'm in East Berlin right now with Octopussy. So
as part of the Bond recipe. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm enjoying this ride.
Figure out something fun with that. Try to at least. At the very least, I'll wear a button up.
What is this week? It's You Only Live Twice and On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yep.
Right?
I believe so.
Dude, that's so many movies ago.
Well, for you. For me.
I'm in the John Glenn 80s era.
Not yet. Not yet.
But I'm
watching tomorrow.
Every fucking moment. I love submarine cars, flying cars, jetpacks, moon buggies, underwater scuba fights.
I can't wait to get there for all that shit, because I mean, that's like I said, the third and fourth one, I did enjoy those. So the first two were just boring. I'm not gonna lie.
It goes, dude.
It seems like it's getting
gets better. The bonkersness gets better. And like, you know what? I'm just enjoying this fucking ride, man. It's just a great ride, and I'm having so much fun doing it. And learning about these.
And most importantly, because we learned the hard way last year, Mick, it's one franchise at a time.
One at a time. I'm actually mad at myself. I'm going so hard on James Bond, because I did not feel like I went hard enough on Godzilla. I am not revisiting. They're retired, and James Bond maybe afterwards too. These might just be fun watches, some of them. So far, Roger Moore's my favorite. I just have to watch the Timothy Daltons, and I have to watch a couple of Pierce Brosnans, and I've seen them all.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna rewatch still everything.
And then, to shoot you some bail real quick, Mick. I mean, I know you're saying you didn't give as deep of a dive as you would like to on Godzilla last year, but we were doing Godzilla, Star Wars, and Star Trek. Had you deep dove into Godzilla more, you'd have been single right now, because that was a lot. That was a lot And sometimes with Godzilla, we were doing 3 movies per episode on top of Popcorn and Pints, on top of horror.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, dude! I yeah,
That would nah.
dude. You know what, Trevor? For your show, you know what you need to do. You need to pick out episodes like. You need to watch High Fidelity and do that. You need to like have a show where you pick out like, okay, we're going to talk about my top 7 albums and doo-wop you should own. You could do an hour on that easy.
Good.
And you would tell stories too. You'd be like, this happened with this album, blah, blah, blah. I remember. Yeah, it's like, God, and you got such a good voice for that too.
The unique thing about this, I'll say this before we wrap up. The unique thing about that too is like Trevor's gonna pull out some shit that's awesome that you've never even heard of, and you're just like, what the? So now you're introducing people into newer music, which is if the artists are still around, you're helping those artists out. But either way, you're introducing people into newer music to them or newer movies to them. And you're just like, how the hell? Where did he find this? I'm like, that's why he's a professor. That's where he found it.
I would listen to you do like a 5-part series on all the James Bond music.
Ooh.
And just like deep dive into that. I wish you would come on some of these shows. And even if you're just talking about the music of it, like that would be an interesting like thing to go into. Because I'll tell you, actually, I didn't realize how big James Bond's music got and how many like, because I'm like, oh, I mean, that's awesome that Paul McCartney and Wings did one. And then I'm like, but that's probably the biggest one. And then like, nope. Like, because Nancy Sinatra did, You Only Live Twice, and there's a few, but like, seriously though, like, fucking Duran Duran does View to Kill.
Sheena Easton.
Sheena Easton.
I think Sheena Easton even won a major Grammy that year for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some huge songs. You could go over.
Charlotte Bassey, Goldfinger is always going to be my favorite.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Well, I think you should do it. I think it'll be fun.
Oh hell yeah, I'll definitely tune in for something watch that, listen to that, whatever it is.
But it would be kind of fun to revisit some movie. I'm sure this is out there. If you decided you were going to look at a film, but look at the film solely based on how the soundtrack affects the film. Like, say if you want
The Last Dragon.
Dragon or Reservoir Dogs or Mean Streets. I think that would be a fun thing.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of talk about what music was used, why it was used, why is it important in the plot, why is it important on a social level to be used in the film. That would be fun.
That would be awesome.
Like you
add
have
that to my list.
To do.
So,
that would be awesome. And as a matter of fact, I'm not doing a Third Vision this week. I'm just going to chill and do some watch parties. But next Friday, I want to bring it back. And we were going to be doing The Last Dragon. So
I would like to revisit that again.
I love The Last Dragon. I watched it recently.
Since the pod?
Yeah.
Nice.
No.
I was just looking
I
at
don't know if I could get my friend. He works. He works insane hours, but my friend Mike is one of the most eloquent people I've ever talked to as it pertains to any element of blaxploitation.
Nice.
And Last Dragon does kind of veer in that area. It's a ladder, but no, I wish he would be available. I don't think he is, but he also knows his stuff and he really gets excited about it. Used to be a boxer too, so.
I love hearing that. I love hearing when people get excited about that kind of stuff with just movies in general, because I love movies so much. So it's cool when. It's gonna be next Friday. I'm gonna do a watch party at 10, and then we're gonna review it at midnight.
Interesting.
We're all in sick. Just if you have to work that night, just call your job and tell them you're growing some hair. You don't know what's going on. You're scared to leave your house.
The Last Dragon, Marky Post plays the singer, the new singer, hot singer that comes in towards the end of that, who also played Christine, the defense attorney on Night Court.
Oh,
yeah, she replaced Billy, I can't remember her name, Billy Long maybe, who was the singer. It was her vocals, not in the music video, but on the record, the original vocals for Paradise by the Dashboard Light. She was a singer as well.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. If you go, I would look up some of the music connections in Night Court. You'll be interested.
Mhm. Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah,
I like Night Court. I used to watch it with my mom.
yeah, it was a good show.
Oh man, I'm excited to watch Last Dragon next week. That's gonna be fun. Love that movie.
I love it. I think it's like one of my top favorite movies. I think.
Nice.
Yeah,
It
because
is a great movie.
it's and I know we'll talk about it next time, but it's one of those ones to where. Well, actually, I remember watching it with my older brother Zach and stuff growing up, and just anytime that shit came on, you just right in front of the TV. I don't care what part of the movie it was. It could be the last 10 minutes of the movie. I'm watching that shit. We doing this shit.
The last 10 minute movie? Come on, that's the song kicking in and all that shit. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And it's one of those movies like I said, you'll watch it from whatever freaking part. I don't care if I just watched it yesterday. It's on TV. Fuck it. Throwing it on. I don't care. I got the glow. Leave me alone.
Now I'm like throwing around the idea of it would be fun to do a show to talk about the use of music in the original Crow. So
yeah, that'd be a good one too.
Yeah,
and having that neo noir style that was going on in the 90s, that was very cool.
Yep.
Even in music.
Hell yeah.
That transcended well.
Hell yeah. But Late Night with the Devil, people. Check out that film, and you also got a lot of other fun conversations from us tonight. Make sure you go check out the Scene Snobs, Ambassador Media, Popcorn and Pints, and Horror Research 30. This was a great, great, great time, and
thank you.
We will be back next Thursday talking about this shit right here.
Damn, minute already.
The Gracefield incident. With that said, folks, I'll see you in your nightmares. Peace. Oh, actually, that'd be peace.
I gotta be careful with my hand. I don't want